Story now. Weeks after KwaZulu-Natal was battered by severe floods, the province continues to rebuild. Premier Sihle Zikalala announced a few days ago that the death toll has now risen to 461.
87 others remain unaccounted for. Meanwhile, damage to infrastructure is valued at 25 billion rand. Zikalala has vowed to implement short and long-term measures to mitigate future disasters. eNCA contributor Mpho Lakaje brings us this feature from Durban.
With the damage visible, one can't say the recent natural disaster is water under the bridge. Durban residents are still forced to negotiate their city's collapsed infrastructure. It has become part of everyday life. But their Premier Sihle Zikalala has promised to do more to prepare for severe weather in the future.
I think the warning systems are very high right now, and we would want to sustain that. But also building on that, it's a question of active leadership that understands climate change and that is able to conscientize people. Then thirdly is to ensure that whenever there is a challenge, we intervene with speed to evacuate people so that we protect lives.
But to avoid further loss of life, government will have to collaborate with local scientists. On a daily basis, they work on models that demonstrate how rainwater is likely to behave.
So the rain falls out the sky to the ground, and then it must move somehow. The water must move somehow. That's why you have rivers. Some of the water travels on the surface, and some of the water actually penetrates into the ground and travels underground. But water is very good at transporting things. So it's very good at transporting soil, for example. If there's enough water moving underground, it can move that soil.
This is the reason roads, bridges, and even houses in KZN's poor and affluent areas were badly damaged.
So typically, you wouldn't build within a flood line. So engineers can predict that. They can predict how wide the river is going to get when it floods. So you shouldn't be building in those types of floodplains. But the problem is it hasn't been managed properly. So you get a lot of people building and they don't know where to build or not to build. So there needs to be an informed management campaign to help relocate those people into safer spaces.
But it won't be easy.
People are not looking for houses. People are looking for human settlement. And what is that? This is how it looks like. A human settlement is a place which is functional, which got a schooling system, which got resources where you can go and work, where you got a working infrastructure, and all those factors. Now, if you are just going to take people and move them and give them places where they will stay, where the transport system is very far from their workplace, they sell their houses and they give them to other people. Then they go to the areas which are not ideal.
What's the long-term solution then? Both government and town planning experts agree that satellite cities outside of Durban will have to be developed to promote decentralization.
If you will look on the development that has taken place in Richards Bay, for instance, with the growth of employment there because of the special economic zone, the industrial development zone in Richards Bay, you would see Richards Bay is growing in terms of population. And that growth is also because of the infrastructure that we've developed.
Preparing for extreme weather in the future requires a multi-pronged approach. It's about developing robust warning systems, repairing drainage systems, building homes in conducive areas, while at the same time curbing overpopulation. Mpho Lakaje, Durban.